I am Pragya and I bring to you excerpts from the current issue of Outlook titled Trapped, that looks at two cover stories. One, where poor migrant workers trapped in a tunnel make it alive after 17 traumatic days. The other, for the Palestinians trapped in Gaza, the ceasefire may be short lived before the next round of attacks by Israel. The other cover has illustration of the olive tree, a symbol of Palestinian culture and resilience. The Palestinian poet in exile, Mahmoud Darwish, has always used olive tree in his poetry. Lines from his poem, The Second Olive Tree, reads, "The portrait for the olive tree is neither green nor silver. The olive tree is the color of peace, if peace needed a color." Over 1 million olive trees have been uprooted by the settlers in occupied Palestine since 1967 to build new settlements, according to Haaretz newspaper and other agencies. From Substrata, Outlook's back of the book section that goes beyond the usual. The Origins of Evil by Tanur Thakur from Outlook. When the fire threatens to raise us, there is one tune pervading our mind, body, and soul. That morality isn't a choice as much as a privilege. On June 18, 1961, a half-page ad appeared in a daily newspaper in New Haven, Connecticut. "We will pay you $4 for an hour of your time," read the headline. Conducted at Yale University, the scientific study of memory and learning required 500 men. The ad's bottom section contained a disclosure form comprising an applicant's personal and professional details addressed to Professor Stanley Milgram. Hinged on a deceit, the study tested not memory and learning, but obedience to authority. It sought to unravel the genocide's psychology. Could it be that Adolf Eichmann and his 1 million accomplices were just following orders? Wondered Milgram. Could we call them all accomplices, inspired by the trial of Holocaust perpetrator Eichmann, who, according to historian and philosopher Hannah Arendt, didn't resemble a vicious anti-Semite as much as a numb bureaucrat, someone embodying the banality of evil? Milgram began his experiment. It involved 3 participants, an experimenter, a teacher, and a learner. The experimenter controlled and administered the test. The teacher, who had responded to the ad, delivered electric shocks to the learner when he gave wrong answers to the word pair questions. The learner, however, an actor and a confederate, sitting across thin wall, received no shocks. His crying and pleading came from a pre-recorded audio, a fact not known to the teacher, the subject. Every wrong answer demanded an incremental shock of 15 volts, ending in 450 volts, a lethal dose. As the jolts intensified, the learner begged and sobbed and screamed. At 300 volts, he kicked the wall and stayed silent forever. If the teacher hesitated, the experimenter provided sequential prods. A. Please continue. B. The experiment requires that you continue. C. It is absolutely essential that you continue. And D. You have no other choice, you must go on. If the teacher said no to all of them, then the experimenter terminated the test. When Milgram asked psychology students, his colleagues, and psychiatrists to predict the experiment results, they all agreed that a minor percentage of teachers, ranging from 1.2% to 3.7%, would administer shocks exceeding 300 volts. During the test, many showed signs of nervousness, wrote Milgram in his 1963 paper. Sweating, trembling, stuttering, groaning, biting their lips, digging fingernails into their flesh. Many broke into fits of nervous laughter. Some suffered from full-blown and uncontrollable seizures. The outcome shocked Milgram. All teachers reached the 300-volt mark, and a staggering 65% finished the experiment, effecting the 450-volt shock. The final implication wrote itself. Obedience to authority and actions divorced from responsibilities could cause murder. For this and more, read the current issue of Outlook.